Hello, sweet friend. My name is Micah, and this video is a little bit of a chatty show and tell, I think. I want to share with you some journaling bits and pieces, and then I want to show you some new stationery items that have come in, and there's gonna be a little giveaway too. And I want to show you a little craft project that I started that is journaling related. And then maybe at the end we'll do a bit of collaging together. So yeah, it's really a collection, an assortment of all kinds of different things. If that sounds like fun to you, let's get started. And maybe we'll start with the books here. So as you may have heard in my recent Techo Kaigi, I've now moved into the Traveler's Notebook for my journaling. And I've also mentioned that I've been struggling to use this as a planner, which is kind of interesting because I've never struggled with that before. But I've decided to maybe use it differently if planning is not happening in this book. And so I'm now keeping just a quick log of what happened that day. And I'm thinking that that's going to be really, really helpful for when I do my weekly spreads. If you've seen any of my recent Journal With Me videos, I like to do a weekly overview where I just pull some highlights and then decorate the week. So that's going to be happening in here. And so I think, yeah, these two are just going to be playing well together in that regard. Because I have noticed, unfortunately, just how quickly things evaporate from my brain. So I think that's gonna be nice. And yeah, as you can see, I have put some fabric on here. Really, really nice. I love the feel of fabric on the covers of my notebooks. And so I did that here. Also, if you, well, I guess you can't see anymore, but these undated weeklies from Traveler's Notebook have this wonderful green color on the front and back. Which I really, really like. But then in combination with the red leather and the red insert, it just was a little too Christmassy for me. And so I decided to go ahead and cover it in fabric. And I think that turned out quite cute. Yeah, so there's nothing in here just yet. And I was thinking maybe at the end of this video, we could go ahead and put a little decoration in this frame right here. That might be nice. And then I also went ahead and started this special insert. Yes, I just went right in and ripped out those message cards that come with the insert. I realized that I had two options with this special insert. One was to be precious about it and put it away for something really nice and special. But knowing me, that would just mean that I never use it, and I personally am not somebody who likes to hold on to things just for the sake of holding on to them, unless they have some sort of sentimental value, of course. And so I realized the other option is to just go right ahead and use it. And so that's what I did. So I already decorated this little frame here at the start, kind of excited to see how long I'm going to be in here. But yeah, just a cute cat on her bike and some flowers and some washi. I think that turned out quite sweet. And then, yeah, started my journaling for July. We went on a summer walk that day because it had cooled down to 28 degrees Celsius. It still felt pretty hot, especially because of humidity, but yeah, quite precious. And then I also did some journaling, as I like to do, about my printable collection for Cat Collage Club that launched on the 1st. So I put those photos in. Isn't this ink color so gorgeous? This is a new Tono and Limbs, not prompt. Why am I thinking prompt? A sample. I was thinking of the German word Probe, which is sample. That's where that's coming from. Yeah. Yeah, a little sample of this beautiful color. So it's like a honey yellow, I would say. And it's called Dear Bear. And I think it's really precious. Yeah, loving that. So yeah, those were those two. And then yesterday I wanted to capture a new smoothie recipe that we've been really enjoying. Yeah, it's really refreshing, and I think it's so cute how the tiny cats are helping with the ingredients. And yeah, in case you're interested in making this, it's a really mellow yet refreshing green smoothie. And I feel like the ingredients are easy to keep around. So yeah, so that's how this is going. Obviously not very much in there just yet, but quite excited. And then I decided to include a third insert. And this is a to be seen insert. I have this Baumkuchen insert with the 68 GSM Tomoe River paper in cream, which is my favorite paper, and this is old Tomoe River paper, so you know, it's the good stuff. And I have been really feeling like I want to try some creative writing prompts, and so that's why this is in here. I thought that would be a good use for this insert, but we'll see if I actually get around to it. But I figured it also doesn't hurt to just have that here and for that to live here. And then this is the insert that I'm going to be using the most, and so I thought it would also be nice to have one insert in the front of it and one in the back, so you know it's quite cushioned and sits nicely. So yeah, that's how I set this up for now. And then on the outside I started to do some customizations too. I added a little bead for the bookmark. To be fair, I don't use the bookmark very often, but I still thought it looked cute. And then, as you can tell, I took the outside string off, and that's because I was thinking, oh, I have these beads, and I could do some more beads for on the outside. And I thought these colors would look absolutely gorgeous with the red leather. However, the holes are just slightly too small for this elastic. Really a bummer. And so that was a no. But then I was like, what if I make my own bead? And so I took some air dry clay and made this cat head. I hope you can see that there on the white paper. It's still drying. I'm gonna paint it and seal it and all that kind of stuff, and maybe sand it. I think this leather is pretty prone to scratches, so I'll see. But yeah, isn't that so cute? Then I can just put the elastic through here and have my own little cat head bead. So yeah, let me know if you've ever made your own beads with air dry clay. I think it's a really fun and easy way to add something of your own to your traveler's notebook. I will say that if you have seen what little Lou did with her red traveler's notebook, oh my goodness, so stunning. The way she drew on top of it and made it look like stamps. Incredible, but I don't think I'm brave enough to do that. So yeah, a bead it is. So that's the little journal update on these two. And then I got an order in from Miso Paper. So many cute things. First of all, Barbara always sends out her packages with these wonderful freebies. She's always very generous with her freebies, and this is the current thank you card. Such a cute design with the fields of flowers. That feels very summery. And then we have a bunch of little tape samples. Really precious. Yeah, very summery all. Yeah, that's quite fun. And then I got a new Yohaku tape, washi tape. Super cute. You know, I love my Yohaku tapes. And so I've already been using this one. And again, I thought this was such a nice color for summer. Well, for all year round, but I mean, yeah, it also goes very well with summer. Then, for the first time, I ordered a tape by Ding Ding. And this is their flower tape. And oh my goodness, these flower illustrations. are incredible. They're all these really natural looking flowers, so they're not perfect. They, you know, have already, you know, bloomed and are starting to, you know, wilt a little bit maybe. But yeah, absolutely stunning. And I think that's going to be so fun to put on a page. And I don't think you need to do much else once you put these on. Yeah, and these are kiss cut as well. This is, I think, my favorite. So, yeah, absolutely stunning. So that's that. I'm not going to bother rolling that back up. And then the other PET tape, and maybe we need some white paper to put in the back. Let's do that maybe. Is a Miso Paper and Nettle and Twig collaboration. I think it was a collaboration. Sometimes I think Nettle and Twig has their own tapes, but then they also have some collaboration tapes. But how cute are these? Look at that little pig. Oh my goodness. And as you can tell, I've already used some of these as well. There's lots of itty bitty bits, and so I'm glad that this is kiss cut, because my goodness. And on the one hand, I always feel like these smaller items are so useful to have, and they're so rare to come across, I feel like. But then also I'm slightly overwhelmed sometimes when I look at this tape and how much is on here, how many small things are on here. But yeah, absolutely gorgeous and cute. And I've already been loving this. And yeah, just do this really messily right now. And then I also finally got, I know this is not new, but I got a half roll, which is also really nice at Miso Paper. They do half rolls of the Hours Studio, so gallery wall. That's not the official name, I don't think, but something about gallery and frames. And so yeah, it's all these little frames of things, and I think this is super fun, and I like the unique shapes. Yeah, really, really cool. Fun to play with. And now there's tape everywhere. And then, I'm so excited to share this with you. Most of you already know about this, but I finally got my hands on my own collaboration items with Miso Paper. So we collaborated on a sticker sheet, which is called Stationery Cats. And I think they turned out so fun. And there's always something so special when you get your artwork printed by professional printers, and the colors come out so nice, and it has official looking packaging. It's a real thing. So yeah, this is really, really cool. And then we also collaborated on a PET tape. So I want to show you what it looks like in the packaging, and then we're going to take a look at the actual loop. It's called Day in the Life. And the idea was that, you know, with PET tapes, you obviously get a lot of this, right? So my loop is about it's a meter long, and a whole roll has 10 meters. And so I thought, wouldn't it be cool to just follow along in a cat's day in the life? And so I figured this would be quite useful to use over and over in everyday situations. And so we have a cat waking up with the alarm going off, still sleepy, getting your first cup of coffee, taking a shower, getting dressed, having breakfast, taking public transport to work maybe, and some planners, working. I did a few laptop and working ones because I figured that might be something that you want to use a lot or often. And then maybe you have a phone call, you meet up with a friend at a cafe, and you're going to the grocery, getting some things for dinner. You're coming home with all the bags, cooking dinner, looking up new recipes, sharing a meal with a loved one, and then maybe you do some chores, do some yoga or fitness, and some reading, and a movie. Or a TV show maybe. And then it starts all over again. So yeah, this is the PET tape. And thank you so much to everyone who already bought something from this collaboration. It just means the world to me. And Barbara is such a wonderful person and her shop is amazing. So this is a dream collaboration for sure. And so I was thinking that it would be nice to give away 10 loops. So 10 people will get a loop of this tape. So one day in the life of the cat. And if you want to participate in this giveaway, leave me a comment with a cat emoji and tell me what is your favorite time of the day and why. So yeah, really, really fun there. And yeah, I hope you win. And then last but not least, now we have all of this flying about. My desk is an absolute mess, I can tell you. It is not looking good. I was thinking it could be nice to go ahead and, yeah, decorate this. Where is my little clippity clip? Do we have a clippity clip? We do. And then I think I'm just gonna do this. Is that gonna be helpful? And I dug out from the beginning of the year, this 2020, which is pretty big. I think maybe it would be good to cut this and then we can stack them. Yeah, and let's just make the sides a little bit more even. I can't believe that next month is August, and that means we're gonna see what Hobonichi has planned for next year, and then that means that it's gonna start. It's gonna start with all the pre-sales and pre-orders. I saw that the Diamine ink vent, you can pre-order that right now, which is even crazier. Although I guess December is even still like earlier than January, but for some reason Christmas feels even, to think about Christmas feels even worse right now, especially with all of the heat. Yeah, things are moving way too fast. Yeah, so maybe we can do something like that. And then I created these flowery designs for the Cat Collage Club July, and maybe that feels a little too rigid. What about her? I could have her sitting here. Like so, maybe? That could work. And then can we have some more? A lot of these flowers. Do we want to use some of the nettle and twig flowers? As I was mentioning, these are not, or that birdie up there. Yeah, some of these like smaller items. Yeah, I bet we can find something colorful and cute to add. Yeah, okay, well maybe we'll just, I also don't want to be too fussy with this. Let's glue this down first. Are you excited to see the Hobonichi products, or are you somebody who got scared off with the paper this year and so things are not as exciting as they maybe once were in terms of Hobonichi launches? I guess you could still, buy their covers for other notebooks. And are you gonna get the any of the ink advent calendars. I think there's the... Oh, I did not make that look even. Oh well. I guess I could... This is Midori paper. I keep forgetting. Midori paper sometimes lets you... Yeah, I think I can... Not that I always have everything even at all, at any rate, so... Yeah, but that's a little better. And then since this is printed on this transparent sticker paper, I think I'm going to use whiteout on the frame here. I think that's gonna make it look a little better. I thought about getting some of those ink calendars. There's one from... Why is this not working? Am I doing this correctly? There's the color event from Colorverse, and then there's the Diamine ink vent. Somehow it doesn't want to... Here we go. No? Is it getting stuck on itself? But I feel like I have so many inks on my list that I still want to try out, you know, before I don't know. I guess I feel like I would rather spend that money on inks that I already know that I want to try out rather than... I mean, you're kind of buying ink samples blindly, right? Which is super fun to get the surprise, and you might end up with something that you would have otherwise never considered. But yeah, I don't think I'm going to get one, at least this year. Yeah, okay, let's put her down. Don't overthink this. I wanted her to overlap a little bit with the numbers. Oh, and I forgot. Her tail is also... Wow, this is not quite going so smoothly as I thought it was gonna be. Does your journaling change throughout the summer? Is that something where you journal less because you have other things going on? Do you journal more because you're doing more trips and family events, and maybe you have more time during the summer to sit with your journal? Yeah, let me know. I think that's kind of interesting. I could see that go either way. I feel like I always journal the same, but I also don't have to contend with, you know, kids that are home from school and those kinds of things, so maybe I have it a little easier there in that regard. And living in the US means that I have AC, so I can always find a cool spot. What else do I want? I feel like I created a shape that is not quite the easiest. This is something that I sometimes like to do, especially with these clear PET tapes. I just kind of hold them against... Ooh, do we want some birds up there? That'd be cute. That would be cute. Let's just go for it. Yeah, these are teensy tiny. But like I said, that's really nice because I guess sometimes sticker sheets have little small elements too, but I feel like you can always use small flowers and small birds. That'll just come in handy. Are you somebody who really enjoys PET tapes and having, you know, a few, what's it called? Like have multiples of a design. Really helps sometimes, right? That you don't feel like you're having to use your one precious sticker. But like I said, I also feel like sometimes they can be a little overwhelming, the amount of stickers you get. So I tend to be pretty decisive about the PET tapes I buy. Yeah, I just don't like to be overwhelmed, especially not with something that is not, you know, that is my hobby, I guess. Do we think that's done for now? I didn't add any washi tape, which is unusual for me because I love washi tape. I love the patterns and the colors and the texture that it adds. So maybe we can add this. Yeah. I feel like shape-wise, this now has sort of started to become very square. And I feel like if I put something here, that would balance it a little bit more. But I also don't know what. Maybe I'll just put the dates on here. July 1st till December 31st. Or my name, my contact information in case this gets lost. I think I'll leave it at this. I think otherwise I'm gonna potentially overthink this, which I don't want. And I think the bird's beak is too close to the corner there. That's a little better. Still quite close, but better. Yeah. Okay, well, that's that. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing this time with me and yeah, taking a look at all these things. And then if you want to participate in the PET tape loop giveaway, once again, leave me a cat emoji and tell me what is your favorite time of day and why to participate in this. And I'll have a link to both the tape and the sticker sheet in the description. Yeah. All right. I think that's it from me for this week. Thanks so much for sharing this time with me, and until next time, happy journaling.